Speaking once again about immigrant crime in Ireland, we have one of the worst news stories I've ever reacted to on this channel. So this is actually from Galway and Mayo. A ballet teacher who sexually abused young girls is jailed for 7 years. So he sexually abused many young girls. And like I said before, this guy isn't from Ireland. This is an immigrant crime. He is actually from the UK. He's from Britain, okay, from England. So it says probation report says Leighton Morrison, 49-year-old, who ran 3 dance schools, is at high risk of reoffending. So we actually have a big news article here. It says County Galway ballet teacher jailed for child sex abuse in Mayo and Galway. So it says the parents of 2 girls who were sexually assaulted by the ballet teacher in costume storage room in County Mayo have appealed for children to be better protected against predators. I will talk about that very soon after this video. We're going to talk about how to protect yourself, because now we are living in a different society. We are not living in an innocent society that we once lived in Ireland, okay? We have sexual predators coming over from the UK, coming over from North Africa, war-torn parts of the Middle East, sick bastards that want to abduct and hurt our people. It says Leighton Morrison videoed himself sexually assaulting the children aged 8 and 9 in separate incidents after making them wear inappropriate clothing, a court was heard. Morrison of Woodfield Galway Road, Tuam, was sentenced to 8 years in prison, with the final year suspended at Castlebar Circuit Criminal Court today. So basically, he got 7 years. Okay, it wasn't 8 years, the last year suspended, okay, for some strange reason. He pleaded guilty to 6 sample charges from a total of 13 offences committed on dates between January 2023 and January 2024. Charges include 2 separate counts of sexual assault against an 8-year-old girl and 9-year-old girl, exploitation of a child, and possession of production of CP. Okay, so this guy has had thousands of images of CP on his laptop, on his phone also. He's an alcoholic, they said. He was in a dark way over the lockdowns. Just a lot of weird people and sick people exposing themselves from the lockdowns. This is one of the things I've noticed about the lockdowns, which were manufactured by the state, that it turned a lot of people weird. Now you have a lot of weird interactions with people. People that you once thought were cool, that you once talked to. The universe has revealed itself to us all now. Real sick weirdos walking around day to day with us, okay? Court heard Morrison ran 3 schools of dance across County Mayo and Galway and had previously had a successful career as a ballet teacher. And I've actually seen this guy around, guys. Galway is a small place. I've seen this guy around the place because I've lived here my whole life, like pretty much since I was young. And, seeing these people around, it just goes to show that you have to be extremely careful with people, okay? A lot of these parents, a lot of you Irish parents now, you're still very innocent. Maybe you're in your 40s, 50s, and 60s. You say, oh, let's put our daughter into this ballet school. Let's put them into cheerleading, whatever. But you don't know who is there, guys. You don't know who's teaching these classes. Never let your kids out of your sight. Ever, guys, okay? My mom, when I was growing up, she never let me go to bathrooms alone, never let me go to changing rooms alone, ever. Nothing ever happened to me ever, thank God, okay? Thank the Lord. Because if something happens to you that's so horrendous like that, it scars you for the rest of your life. This girl said that recently her mom was talking about, she recently told me that she'll be afraid of monsters going to sleep, that she brought her to a toy shop for her 8th birthday, but she'd lost all interest in toys. It completely destroys your entire life. And we still have this innocent mindset in Ireland. We have to be more extreme in our protection now. Okay, understand there are predators out there and they want to exploit your kids. They want to take your kids. We have LGTV, all these different weirdo groups as well that are trying to turn your kids gay because they can't have kids themselves. So they take your kids and turn them gay. They're not as harmful, obviously, as stuff like this. But psychologically, it's doing the same thing. It's destroying your innocence. It's destroying your brain capacity, to actually understand sexual relationships growing up. Okay, it's absolutely horrendous. And I was taught this as young, be paranoid. Don't actually let your guard down. Be very aware of people and what they're doing, guys, right? Be very aware of people, if they want to attack you, whatever, hurt you. So it is a cruel existence we live in now in Ireland. Many people still say, oh, I let my kids off and I let them do whatever they want. Don't let your kids out of your sight, guys, ever. Don't let your kids out of your sight. That's one thing I'd say. You don't know who the hell's your neighbor now. We're thrust into this sort of melting pot, this multicultural shit pot that the government wants us to live in now. And it's completely destroyed people. You don't know who your neighbor is. You don't know who these people are. They're not from the same background as you. They're not from where you're coming from. They don't have the same culture, same heritage. They don't have the same belief system. They have different interests than us. in the Western world. You don't know who these people are. And this guy, he's a white guy from Britain, once again, not vetted. We need to vet all these people. This is an immigrant, guys. These are immigrants coming from the UK. England is a much different society than Ireland. Ireland were small towns, small villages. They're coming from these big cities, London, and all these different places. These are sick people that may have offended in the past. Now they're coming here to seek refuge, basically. The same as these refugees coming over. They could be ISIS combatants. This guy is obviously a sexual predator. Why wasn't he examined and checked before he came here? Did he have any previous offenses? Was he a sexual predator before he came to Ireland? Who the hell knows? The mother of the child says once she used to be a happy-go-lucky child, has now endured years of anxiety, health problems, and nightmares since joining this class, okay? Biting her fingernails until they bled. Really sick perverts. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to join the guards, the police. Because I thought, if I could join the Gardaí, the police, I could be like this modern-day Punisher. Like the Marvel comic books, the Punisher. You could basically go around arresting sexual predators. You could go around arresting murderers and these real sick people out of society, put them in jail. But matter of fact, now what the Gardaí do is just, arrest you for tax purposes. If you put a mean tweet on the internet, oh, God forbid, in the UK, if you put up some misinformation in Ireland or disinformation, which basically means you just got something wrong accidentally, you're put in jail now. They're more concerned about our local people, our locals, talking on the internet in WhatsApp groups, spreading far-right theories, conspiracy theories. That's what they're concerned about. They're not concerned about looking out for people like this. You know what I mean, guys? And this is the sick, perverted society that we're being led to believe is now what's appropriate. Wait on this motherfucker. This guy should be hung by a tree until dead. This is a non-coming back from procedure. And when this guy goes to prison, he's going to get lit up, guys, unless he goes into protective custody. I don't think he should be given a second chance. He has made his choice in life, and his choice in life was to abuse innocent people. That's his choice in life, guys. It says on top of it, the Gardaí seized 2 mobile phones and a laptop from Morris's home containing thumbnail images and videos of sexual assaults and other child abuse material. One Samsung phone contained 340 Category 1 images depicting child sexual activity and 853 Category 2 images depicting child exposure. Really, this is the people we have now that are in the country. This guy is an immigrant. Let it be known, guys. This guy is not Irish. He is not one of us. He is a foreigner. And this guy is breaking the law in the most heinous ways. The court heard the child had attended a Stay Safe program in weeks earlier, which enhanced her awareness of inappropriate behavior. I'm telling you guys, we are living in a sick society now. My mom was very aware of all this shit that could happen. There's kidnappings. There's movies now coming out about this kind of stuff. Latin America, that one movie that talked about, these kidnappings, this child sort of trafficking, human trafficking of people. And you have to be extremely careful. Never let your kid out of your sight. If you can't help it whatsoever, go in the bathroom, go to change rooms, any of these areas, always go with them. Never let people on their own do shit, anything on their own, anything else, so swimming, any of this crazy shit, guys. Because this is what's going to happen. This is the kind of shit that could happen to your kids. And the Gardaí and the government don't give a shit, guys. They literally don't care. And you have to protect your own people. You have to protect ourselves. No one is coming to save us anymore. This is it, guys. We're on our own. I can't even read this story, guys. It just makes me so goddamn angry. But it says here, originally from the UK, of course, like I said, not Irish, had performed ballet worldwide at a high level. He settled in Ireland, but experienced the collapse of his business and isolation during the lockdowns, which led to his increased reliance on alcohol and descent into viewing, bad material. All right. Judge Garavan described Morrison as a type of Billy Elliot who came to work from a working class background, had so much talent and much going from, but had gone on to cause so much destruction, turmoil, and long-term negative consequences. His reputation is in tatters. This guy, like I said, should be in jail forever, guys. Just unbelievable. Why he's only getting 7 years? This guy should be in jail for 50 years. Minimum 50 years, guys. Man, there's no retribution in this society now. It's disgusting. This is why we in Ireland are so strict when it comes to these immigration laws. You don't know where people are coming from. You don't know the background checks of these people. They have no community here. They have no relationships with the Irish people. They have no community. There's no sort of culpability. There's no sort of attachment to the people in the land. And they're able to do these kind of crazy things as a result of that. And here we have President Trump and Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban speaking about Europe's migration policies during their meeting at the White House on Friday. Trump said the migration is flooding Europe, while Orban defended Hungary's strict border control and said his country faces EU sanctions for blocking illegal crossing. So of course, Hungary, Poland, Slovakia, and the Czech Republic are the only 4 countries that have done a pact together. They've done a migration pact where they're not letting in not even one immigrant into their country. I believe that Ireland should be part of that. I would actually join in with them. Okay, I would 100% join in with them. But for some crazy reason, you know, they're not allowing that to happen. And they're actually getting fined by the EU every single day, millions of euro, because it doesn't fit in with that EU-UN narrative.
From all over the world, and Europe is becoming a different place. And I tell the leaders all the time, you better stop or you're not going to have Europe anymore. It's a very dangerous thing they're doing.
May I have a reflection on that? So on migration issue, just for clarification, in Hungary, the number of illegal migration is like that, 0. Zero. Because we have a crystal clear system. If somebody would like to come to Hungary, first he should ask for that. If he gives the permission, they can step in. Nobody can step on the territory of Hungary without having a permission from the Hungarian authorities. This is the regulation, simple while working. What is the consequence of that? We are under sanctions, financial sanctions of European Union, because we don't let the illegal migrations to come to Hungary and to the European Union as well. So we have to pay, just to inform you, we have to pay every day 1 million euro as a punishment to the Brazilian budget, because we stopped the migrants. This is the absurd world we are living now in Europe.
So he says that we have to pay 1 million euro to the Brussels budget, because obviously the head of the EU is in Brussels. Completely disgusting, completely ridiculous. Viktor Orban is an amazing leader. 2 great leaders there talking about immigration. If we could adopt more like Eastern Europe, I would love that. I love Eastern European policies when it comes to immigration, when it comes to all this type of stuff. Because we're in Europe, guys, in the Western world, in the Republic of Ireland. We're letting everyone in. It's a flipping shit show. And it causes things like the story I talked about earlier. The last news story we have here is a patriotic act. Some legend just climbed to the top of this huge tree in Leitrim and placed a tricolor at the very top, guys. So it's amazing to see that people are still erecting these tricolors. You know, the lefties, the woke lefties are having a flipping seizures all over the country looking at this. They can't believe that you would actually fly the Irish flag in Ireland. You know, who would have thought about that, guys? Who would have thought that? Flying the Irish flag in Ireland. What a foreign activity. What a crazy activity to do, you know? But of course, this legend in Drumshanbo, Leitrim, is leading the charge with it. Oh. Let's go, guys. I love it. Look at that. Look at this height of that flag. So that tree is absolutely massive. That's like at least, what, 60 foot high, 60 foot, 70 foot high. I mean, massively high tree right there. And some guy climbed to the top of it and put that Irish flag on top. You know, this is what the lefties hate. They hate this sort of, you know, populist, more loving our own people sort of country. They want a globalist shithole society, which we do not want, okay? Let's push back against them every single day. I love you guys all. If you want to support me, hit the join link underneath the video. Become a member today for just €3 per month. We have new supporters, new videos as well every single day. I'll see you in the next one, lads. Peace.